every single one of them. And what did I get? Disappointment. Hi. Hello. My name is Bhankohleing, and it's that time of the year again. It's time for mid-year book freakout tag because it's already the middle of the year. What? So, if you don't know what this tag is about, it's basically a tag for us book nerd review the year, how we're doing so far. We're just gonna dive into the questions. I have nothing else to say. Ahem! Question number 1. Best book you have read so far this year? I would have to go with Jar Apart by Jennifer Hillier. This book, according to my Goodreads review, I was shooken. This book is a thriller about a girl with a dark past. Her best friend disappeared in high school, and years later, everyone found out that she was murdered by this girl. Her name is Gio. So she was murdered by Gio's high school boyfriend, and she might or might not be involved in this and end up going to jail for a few months. And then when she got out of jail, more women end up dead. So everyone just turns to her and just think, girl, is it you? And that is how the story started. I was really surprised by this book. It was so messed up. There's so many trigger warnings. So if you want to read this book, check it first before you get into it. I would say I found the first few chapters really slow because at the beginning, Gio, she was in prison and literally she couldn't do anything. Maybe make some connection, with the woman in the prison. Yeah, shooken. Next question is the best sequel that you have read so far. I only read 2 series or sequel so far, and I haven't finished both of them. I have one more book in the series to read, which is the Shadow and Bone series and the Percy Jackson series, which I actually just started about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I liked both of them equally. I don't think they are the best series I have ever read, but I enjoy them. If I have to pick between the 2, I would say Percy Jackson because I think I read the series at the right time. It just made me laugh a lot, and at the time when I decided to pick it up, I really needed to laugh because I was so stressed too. So I would go with Percy Jackson. New release you haven't read yet but want to. Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I think it just came out recently. When I saw it at the beginning of the year, I really want to read it. So this story is about a girl named Charlie who is driven across the country by a serial killer. Road trip is supposed to be fun, but how is she gonna have fun when the person that she's in the car with might kill her, I am just in the mood to read thriller right now because I have been reading a lot of fantasy lately. I just want to read about a serial killer just to help me feel grounded back to reality. Question number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I don't really look up new releases. Usually I just come across them by accident. So most of the books that I want to read for the rest of the year are sequels to a book or like the first book that I read last year. When Night Breaks by Janella Angeles, The Hawthorne's Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Kingdom of the Cursed by Kari Maniscalco. When I was trying to answer this question, I also looked up some new releases. So what I found that I am intrigued to read are Mark of the Wicked by Georgia Bowers. This one is a debut witchy fantasy mystery, and another one is Bad Witch Burning by Jessica Levis. It's another witchy fantasy, and it pitched as the chilling adventures of Sabrina, and I love that show, so I'm really excited to read it. Another one, Dark and Shallow Light by Ginny Meyer Saint is another small town witchy mystery. Another one, The Ex-Hacks by Erin Sterling, another witchy, but this one is a rom-com where a witch was dumped by her boyfriend like years ago, and she was really pissed So she put a curse on him, and years later, he came back to town and she realized that this guy isn't as harmless as he looks. So she's like, shit. Question number 5 is biggest disappointment. Can I have to? I did make a rant review for Groundbreaker last month. Yeah, was pretty disappointed. But I would say lore actually topped this one. Not because it's worse than Groundbreaker. I think both of them are equally terrible. No need to compete. But with lore, it just hurts me the most because it's just better if I show you. Okay, hold on. So, I really thought that I was going to like this book. Before it came out, I was very excited. So, I bought every single edition of this book. Every single one of them. And what did I get? Disappointment. I got a personalized signed copy from her. And I feel bad that I don't like her book because she seems nice, but you know what the hell am I gonna do? And all the money that I spent. Next one, the biggest surprise. The bad surprise is lore, of course. The good surprise is Kingdom of the Wicked by Curry Maniscalco. I did not expect to like this book at all because Stalking Jack the Ripper was my worst book of 2020. I just picked this book up because of the premise. If you know me, I love the show called Lucifer, so when I read the premise, it just, I just couldn't help it. I have to read it, even though in my heart, I just thought that I was gonna hate it. I picked it up anyway, and I'm glad I did because turns out I really liked it. Not because it was good, but it was because I loved the love interest, Raph. He was so hot, and that was all I care about. That was good enough for me. Just a hot dude in the story, and I was like, you know what? Thank you. So the question number 7 is new favorite authors, either debut or new to me. The first one is definitely Jennifer Hellier. Love her. I read 2 of her books so far, and I loved both of them. Second is, of course, Tiffany D. Jackson. Monday is not coming. Blew my mind. Okay, question number 8 is New Year's fictional crush. Wrath. Look at him. Book that made me cry. I don't think I have any books that made me cry so far this year, but I did have a book that made me really angry, which is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. And also, this book was gifted by Rachel from Let Me in the Library. So thank you so much, Rachel, for sending this to me for my birthday. This book is a YA thriller, and it covers a lot of heavy topics, especially about child abuse. It's a big topic in this book. If you cannot handle that, I would not recommend you reading it. And there are also other trigger warnings, so I highly recommend you checking them out first before you dive into it. But yeah, it just made me so angry. The thing that happened in this book also happened in real life. There are adults in this book that can help the kids, but they just ignore and decide to do nothing about it. Death can be prevented, but no one give a shit. It's just really sad. The trigger warnings, some of it, I don't remember all of them. Child abuse, homophobic, bullying, miscarriage. Those are all of the ones that I remember. But like I said, check it out first before I dive into it. But it's so good. It's so good. I really like it. Okay, next one is book that make you happy, and for me is Percy Jackson, The Sea of Monsters. I think I read this book at the right time when I needed it. I mentioned earlier I was really stressed and I decided to pick this book up. I did not expect to pick this book up at all because I read the first book last year and I didn't like it. It was actually in my most disappointing books video that I made at the beginning of the year. It's not that the book was bad, but I think I just had a really high expectation for it. Like I gave it a 3.5 stars. So it wasn't bad. It just did not meet my expectation. So I didn't plan to pick this book up, but I was really stressed and I just want to read something light and easy but also adventurous that just help me escape my life at the moment because there are nothing bad happen in my life. I just have so many things that I want to do that I started to get really overwhelmed and stressed. So I'm like, I just don't want to think about it anymore. So I picked this book up and it just made me laugh so much. It just made me feel like a kid again, and it made me really happy. It made me forgot about my life for a moment. I actually feel a lot better now, and I have this book to thank for. So thank you. Question number 12 is the most beautiful book that you bought so far. The one that I have in mind, I don't have it right now because I just bought it last month and I have to wait for another 2 months until I get it. And this one is the Fairy Loot edition of The Kingdom of the Wicked. This is the most beautiful book that I have ever seen. I love it so much that I almost spent $500 for it. Not almost. I actually already paid $500 to get this book. But fortunately, I got my money back because something happened when the book shipped to me and it was damaged. It had to be sent back and blah 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 blah. So I got a refund. So when Fairy Loot put it on sale again last month, I woke up at 4 a.m. just so I can buy this book. Okay? That's how much this book meant to me. And I couldn't sleep. Dude. All night. I thought, okay, I had to wake up at 4 or 4:30. So I would go to bed early. And I did. But I was so paranoid that I would sleep through my alarm that I kept waking up every 2 hours. And when I went back to bed, I had a nightmare that I missed the sale. And it was so funny. Like in a dream, I was trying to type, like click on the cell, but my body suddenly I was paralyzed. I couldn't move my body and I was trying to buy it. And then it showed that the book sold out and I cried in my dream. And then I woke up again and it was 4 a.m. because the sale happened at 5 a.m. So I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna wake up maybe 4:45. But at that point, I was like, you know what, bitch, I'm just gonna stay up. But I finally got the book and I'm really happy about that. And I also want to show you the other book that I have, which is the Illuminated edition of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I still need to read this book. You cannot tell, but it's pretty tiny, but it's so pretty. Like, so signed here. I really like it. Next one is what book you need to read, or what books you need to read by the end of the year. I don't really have the list of okay, these are the books that I have to read before the year ends. It doesn't really matter to me. But recently, I made this video. This is a book tag, and one of the questions it asks about series or something, or you prefer series or standalone books, and I said series, and then I tried to count how many series I finished, and as an adult, I completed three series so far as an adult. When I was in middle school, I read plenty of series, romance series, but as an adult, I finished three. Oh my god. So I have somewhat of a goal. I would like to finish some of the series that I start. And I have, let's see, what do I have? Shadow and Bone, of course, Percy Jackson. I have the Curse Breakers, King of Cards, the Inheritance Games, and Darkly Madly. These are the sequels that I want to complete by the end of the year so I can, up my game a little bit because that is so embarrassing. Let me know what is the best book that you read this year so far, or just leave the shocking emoji, the one that just goes like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!